Hello and welcome back. I'm going to be making a very short, not tutorial, but kind of tips on how to drive with no steering assists. Well, one, because the game's not really optimized for driving like this. I have my steering wheel angle at 360. You can change it. I wouldn't go really much higher because it gets utterly trippy. Let's see. Tilt horizon you want off. You don't want that on. Auto gear shifting off, because, well, I don't know anyone who uses manual. Who uses automatic. Blech. Words, I'm smart. I don't use the ghost, and I don't use the minimap. I don't know why I'm talking about those, because that doesn't matter. Here's my settings. My pedal setup. Graphics, because you care about that, right? No music. Right. So, I like that I can see the other rim through the front bumper and grill. Crap, I'm distracting myself. I can see it through here too. That's funny. So my first tip is find an easy vehicle to drive. Let's not go for the... Well, let's see, what should we go for first that we'll use? Whatever you do, stay away from the 8.6. Hachiroku means 8.6, by the way. In Japanese, I think it was. Yeah. No dur. Well, I'm stupid. I don't know why I said I think. Screw it. So, I would say maybe start with the Honda Civic if you have it. If you don't have it, you can just tell me in the comments and I'll try and make a different tutorial or something. I don't know what I'm saying. 240. Don't use a rear wheel drive. Rear wheel drive sucks in this car because there's not enough power. The gearing sucks and the diff sucks. So we will use the racing one because I'm smart, right? Yeah. So we will practice on, what's it called? Sihem Forest. And we'll just go to training. So my main tip is throttle control and steering control. And so we're just not drifting, I'm stupid. We're just going to be testing out the front wheel drive Honda first. Not going to use the rear wheel drive, we'll use a different car for rear wheel drive. But just start getting used to not driving fast, but just driving around normally with the car. Not normally, but, just kind of gently cruising around the track. And, just cruise like this or something. And you'll eventually actually get used to understeer. Which this car's probably not going to have much of because it's on racing tires. See, you can't yank the steering to the right because it's just going to understeer bad. This car doesn't even understeer that bad. But I really recommend you use a front wheel drive car first. And then you can do laps over and over and over of just driving casually. I'm just a little impatient, this is why I'm going fast. And you can eventually go faster. With this car, you gotta remember, don't use the e-brake right now. And don't go too fast. And don't turn too hard. Because if you turn too hard, you're gonna just understeer straight. And nothing's gonna happen. So, with this, you really have to be watching your steering for understeer. There's a lot of cars that'll become more understeery than they would. And basically, it becomes a whole new game when you play CarXDriftRacing with no steering assists. It's piece of cake with the assists on. I can, whatever, drink something or eat something while playing with one hand. Before, compared to here, I'm actually thinking on what I'm doing. So, I'll show you right now. If you do start understeering, it's just like in actual car racing. You see understeer, and you want to lessen your steering to have your front tires regain grip. So I'll demonstrate again here, understeer, not really, but understeer, and then you just want to straighten so that the tires start grabbing. Front tires start grabbing again. See, understeer, and let it grab. This car is pretty easy to demonstrate with. And then, what I would do is, once you get used to that and you want to start learning how to drift, this is going to probably sound silly. Everybody's going to be like, oh, you couldn't drift front-wheel drive. I'm just teaching you things. Okay? Just listen to me. So, when you get confident enough, you can just yank the e-brake. The car is just going to want to spin out. I'll demonstrate that in a sec. I'll go over here and demonstrate. Go, go, go. I guess how slow this thing is. It's good at racing, though. Racing? Just kidding. Watch, I'll show you. I'm just going to yank the e-brake. No steering assist to help me out. I'm just going to get stuck and crash into a wall. So I just did. So, what do you have to do? You have to counter steer. But this is front-wheel drive car, so you can basically just slam on the throttle. And oh jeez. And just watch. I like using interior because you can see what I'm doing. Oh jeez. So you see I hit the e-brake and I can just control the steering and it'll be fine. Again. I turn left so I can really get my angle, and I turn right again to when I want to start bringing the car back around. So, I think you've probably gotten the basics of the Civic already. Okay. Well, on to the next car. Oops, can't press the button. What should we use to demonstrate? That won't be too hard. And don't try and start with all-wheel drive unless you want to get used to understeer, because they tend to be very understeery. This car, for example, hint, hint. I might get a video on how to drift this thing. It's weird. Very weird. Well, no, it's fine for drifting and power sliding, but when it comes to racing, it does not go fast at all. It doesn't go around corners. Anyways, we'll start with not the Supra, not the Rocket Bunny FRS. We will start with the Horizon GT4. And we'll start with the stock one. Don't do drift, because this car is kind of crazy. Let's go to the same track, and let's get used to... Oopsies, what am I doing? Get used to rolling. So my trick now for learning how to actually drift is, one, what I would do is just yank the e-brake and kind of counter steer. I'm trying to just hold little slides, right? Like when you're learning how to, kind of like when people say when you're learning how to wheelie on a bike, is, oh, only do little wheelies, just to get used to popping up the front ends, and then you can eventually get used to, trying to hold it and stuff. Same idea, just get used to sliding a little bit and correcting without spinning out. So, like that. Let's see, what can I do now? My next trick would be try turning in and try being more confident if you're using rear-wheel drive now. And I would say you really gotta counter steer when you start sliding, but don't counter steer too much as I'm about to demonstrate. If you counter steer too much, this is going to happen. That was still not enough. That was bad. That was really bad on my part. Poor demonstration. So, if you counter steer too much, this will happen. You'll start turning. Front wheels will grip. Apparently not with this car, but usually it'll snap. Yeah. Also, the reason why I chose this car is because of the diff. Look at this. It doesn't even do donuts. Which is kind of a good thing for this. One tire fire. One tire fire.